Okay, 12 rounds. I'm gonna try to make this short. So, anyways, 12 rounds is the second action movie by John Cena, and um, this one, uh, this one was reviewed better than the Marine, and for a good reason too. The Marine was pretty bad, but this one was, I wouldn't say it's horrible, but it's not it's not one of the better action movies out there. And a big criticism for this movie is there's a lot of comparisons between this and Die Hard with a Vengeance. Now, I haven't really seen Die Hard with a Vengeance, but the plots are basically the same thing. Like the main character, he has to do a bunch of tasks because there's a bomber, and well, in Die Hard with Vengeance, it's a bomber. In this movie, it's a terrorist. But okay, it's similar, but you know. Um, so they have to follow the demands of the evil dude, and for a certain thing, and you could, yeah, I see the similarities. But the weirdest thing that I noticed was the director, because the director directed Die Hard 2. So it makes me think that this movie is his vision of what he wanted Die Hard 3 to be like. Like this is his way of saying, I didn't like Die Hard with Vengeance, so this is how I want to Die Hard with Vengeance. Except instead of Bruce Willis, we have John Cena. And you know what? I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't seen Die Hard with Vengeance, if but I heard that movie was okay too. But if he wanted to stick it to the people, if I'm just saying hypothetically, if he wanted to stick it to the people who said Die Hard Vengeance was a good movie, he didn't really make a statement pretty well with this movie. I mean, like, this movie was, how do I describe it? Lacking on story, but with a lot of action. Like, I won't say it's not entertaining, because there are some entertaining parts. Like, the some of the acting is really bad, and I'm actually not talking about John Cena, because Cena's acting is, it's not good, but it's like, it's tolerable. Like, I'm talking about the, what was it? The girlfriend character and the main bad guy character, the guy with the Irish accent. Their acting was pretty stiff, like especially with the girl character, because near the ending, where she's like spouting off like these badass lines, she's giving out with like no personality, so it kills the scenes in which it's supposed to be exciting, but it kills it so bad that it's actually kind of funny to watch. So there's some unintentional comedy in this movie, and also the action scenes. Action scenes are always fun to watch. So this movie's this movie has some like redeemable parts, but it's not. It is not really. What's the word for it? There's not a lot to this movie. I mean, it's just explosions and action scenes. Like, there's not a lot of story. Like, the main story is, the main story is the Irish terrorist guy, Irish terrorist guy. He he had this deal. It was like the perfect deal, and he executed it perfectly until Cena and his friend, who are just like these two random cops, they arrest him, and because due to blind luck, and and by the way, the scene where Cena is actually chasing the Irish guy, it's actually kind of funny because he's on foot and they're in a car. So I was just wondering the whole time when I was watching this, how come they can't just drive away from this guy on foot? Like, I know they're like going through like loops, but it's like it shouldn't be that hard to get away from this guy. But I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying it shouldn't be that hard. But then again, it's Super-Cena, so yeah. Anyways, John Cena has the guy at gunpoint, and he tells his the Irish guy tells his girlfriend to run, and she accidentally runs in front of like a moving truck, which just plows into her. It looks like a scene from Final Destination. And on that day, the terrorist plans to exact revenge on Cena. So 1 year later, Cena is now like a detective, and the terrorist escapes from jail and enacts this plan. And Cena has to play his game of 12 rounds, hence the title, to save his girlfriend again. And that's the plot. Now, pretty simple. There's not a lot of twists in this movie. Like the main twist in this movie is like, okay, spoilers. The main twist in this movie is it comes to the end where Cena learns that the main guy is not actually following his rules. Like he's not actually like following the rules. He's bending the rules because there are certain parts where Cena was about to win, but he broke it up. Like there's a scene where Cena is in an elevator. He's trying to save like this fat guy by like he's trying to lift him up because the elevator's gonna fall. Like the cable's gonna fall, and the Irish guy, like he blows the fuse early to make sure the fat guy doesn't live. So he's not following his rules. So that was like the main twist. And the second main twist was every round, like this was an obvious twist actually. Like you could see this twist coming at a distance. Like the second twist is the terrorist guy is doing these rounds to make Cena he's doing these rounds to make Cena do his task for him. Like he's trying to rob like the New Orleans like main bank or something. So every task Cena does makes his job of robbing the bank easier. So those are the two main twists. The rest of the movie is just like it follows the formula where it's like, what's the worst that could happen? And it's like, oh, this could happen, or what next could happen? What's next? What's next? What? How will Cena escape this situation? And you know, it's like, it's that kind of formula. I mean, it's we have a problem, solve it with action. We have a problem, solve it with action, and then they sprinkle in some like emotional scenes, I guess, just to make the audience remember that you're supposed to feel emotionally attached to the character. But the main problem with this movie is, well, besides the fact that this movie's kind of predictable and doesn't have a strong story, is the movie kind of fails on making a lot of emotion. I noticed that like when I was watching this movie, it's like I didn't really care for any of the characters. I just wanted to watch explosions, which is the wrong kind of like attitude you'd want to produce in your audience, because you want to have your audience like legitimately want this character to succeed, but it's like it doesn't really. I mean, Cena kind of helps because Cena actually is a nice guy, so he comes off as a nice guy in this movie. So you like him, but it's not enough to make you want to follow Cena through all 12 rounds and like want him to win in the end, because in the end it's just like you're just in it for the explosions. Like they tried their hardest. You can tell that they tried their hardest to make the audience care about Cena's situation. Like in the beginning, they try to make it like his life with his girlfriend's kind of suckish, so they throw in all these problems, and they're trying to make it seem like he's down on his luck and he's losing his girlfriend's fate with him, but it just kind of seems forced. So I don't know. That was my main problem with this movie. Like I couldn't emotionally attach myself to this movie, and I just, I hate I hate to repeat what I'm saying, but it's just, this movie's just explosions. Okay, if you want to watch explosions, it's fine. There's a lot of explosions in this movie. The stunts are they're not bad. I mean, like there's some good action scenes in this movie, but it's not memorable. It's just like it's just your standard summer action movie. There's nothing too terrible, but there's nothing too great about it.